Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 185 right now. We are talking with returning guest Nick Kalikas. His website is MMAOddsBreaker.com, and Nick Kalikas, of course, is an MMA odds maker and a consultant for numerous high-profile sports books. And joining us over the phone, MMA analyst, contributor for MMAOddsBreaker.com, and of course, former MMA title contender Frank Trigg. All right, Cejudo and Cariaso. Cejudo, huge favorite, right? Minus 580, fighting at flyweight, though. Historically, he's had a tough time, getting a weight cut down to 125, fighting at 125. Now he's taking, a step up in competition, fighting a top 10 flyweight. Will he make the weight? Will he make the weight cut? I don't know. If he does make the weight cut, will he be in good enough condition to warrant being this big of a favorite? Frank Trigg, what's your take? Cejudo, minus 580 at 125 pounds.
Take Cariaso or pass. I mean, it's ridiculous. At that kind of level for Cejudo, that makes no sense for a guy that historically has a problem making weight. When he does make weight, he doesn't look great coming out of it. He hasn't fought super tough competition. He's only 7-0. Yes, he's had a long storied history in wrestling, but he doesn't use his wrestling in MMA as of yet. He hasn't really shown me that he's a great wrestler. He's not using his wrestling, for MMA in any one of his previous 7 fights. He really hasn't. He's got 100% takedown defense. They're going to take him down. So he's already fallen into the wrestler problem that each of us had when we got into MMA. Every single great wrestler has the exact same problem. Mm-hmm. You can't take me down, and I know how to hit you pretty hard. I'm going to stay on my feet. We stop wrestling. And then after a while, we start getting knocked out. We've seen it happen to me. I got knocked out by Lawler. We got knocked out by Sarah and by Kosh. It's what happens. I was like, I'm a great striker. I'm just going to strike. Well, no, that's not how it works. If you're a great wrestler, not only have to have good defense, you have to have good offense. And Henry just hasn't shown me his good offense yet in MMA. It could change in this fight. It really could. But that number is way overinflated for a guy that has a problem making weight. And then when he does make weight, he has a severe problem the next night at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's what I was thinking when I was, analyzing this fight and researching it. But I was thinking maybe I'm not really seeing something. But now I'm starting to think maybe I'm smelling one of these huge dogs with legit value here in the UFC. Nick Kalikas, where'd you open this line? Is the public jumping all over Cejudo?
Kind of. I opened it up pretty high. I figured they would, to be honest with you. Minus 475 for Cejudo, and so it's increased up a little bit more. So, and everybody has put him in parlays, and they do definitely have more action coming in that way. Cariaso just doesn't get a ton of respect. I mean, against DJ, the line was over 10-1 for a reason, and Cariaso, I think, looking at the state of the 125 division, it needs some depth. So Cariaso basically got that shot against Demetrius Johnson because of the lack of depth in the division. Not saying he's not a skilled, talented fighter. He definitely is. But still, he was outclassed there, overmatched, and we saw the result. So I kind of figured, Cejudo, let's be honest here. They're fast-tracking him. That's why they're giving him a guy that just fought for the title as well. Yeah. Battle number one, though, is, like you guys said, making weight. Can he make 125? In MMA, he hasn't been able to be successful as of late, to make that weight cut and do it right. So that's a big question. In fact, I'm really tempted, and I probably will talk to the guys at 5 Dimes and have them throw up a prop. Will Cejudo actually make 125? And will the fight go on? I think it's a good prop, offering there for them. So maybe you guys can check out 5 Dimes out of you and see if they have that prop up before fight time, or before weigh-ins, I should say. That being said, if he does make weight and everything goes as planned, it is a tough matchup for Cariaso. But I do agree with Frank. Cejudo at this point, even though he has that tremendous, outstanding wrestling background, the guy likes to stand and bang. He hasn't used it as much as you would think he does. Against Cariaso, if he does that, he could run into some problems for sure, because Cariaso is definitely a very talented striker. He's a good kickboxer in general. He mixes everything up really well. But Cejudo, I think, will even hang on the feet a little bit because his boxing is pretty good. He's getting a little bit more confidence, which could bite him for sure, come back and haunt him a little bit if he gets too in love with his striking. But he's got some hand speed. He's got some pretty good boxing. He has some power to go along with it. But I think in this fight, he's going to be smart. He's going to know his best path to victory is getting Cariaso on the ground and just controlling him, looking to pass guard, doing some damage underground as well. So I don't see the dog value as much, to be honest with you here, because, again, the UFC is fast-tracking for a reason. I think we see Cejudo maybe win another fight or two. We'll see him fighting for the 125-pound title, and with his popularity, with his marketability, everything, they're going to really hype that up pretty big. So I do think he advances here. I think he moves on. I think he probably, at worst-case scenario, just maybe a boring type of decision that he, lays in, uses his wrestling finally, like I said, and just lays on Cariaso for 3 rounds and gets the W here.
Frank Trigg, let me go back to you because, just trying to get inside the heads of some of these MMA fighters. Cejudo knows his history of not making weights, of struggling at 125, yet he's coming and doing it again here. Why do you think that's a decision that he made?
There's a lot of reasons why wrestlers are motivated. One of it's because we want to get gold medals and we want to get, silver medals. One of it's because we want to be the best guy in the room, that we're the top dog and the biggest alpha male in the room. And sometimes we're motivated by money. When he made the jump from places like Legacy Fighting Championships and other regional shows that he was fighting at to the UFC, the assumption is his pay increased. So now he comes in and goes, I'm having a problem making 125, but now I have the ability to be a champ at 125. Again, a champ again at a weight, which is already a champ in several other weights in wrestling. Now I have a chance to do it again at 125 and get paid what I'm actually due, because now the UFC is starting to pay the champs what champs are actually due. They're starting to get to the $1 million range and millions of dollar range for some of these champs, and Henry can be one of those guys. So now he's motivated by money. He chose to fight at 125 because that's the best weight class for him, but he's got to dial himself in. Now with the pay increase, he's able to do that. He's able to have a better team, a better squad, a better situation, at least how he thinks. The question is, will it actually come to fruition when that prop bet comes out from 5 Dimes on Friday night? Is he actually going to make weight? And Nick, you got to text me or call me when they say yes, I'm going to prop that out, so I can get in on this action. I got to find out what's going to happen. And like I said, everyone knows when you look at my analysis, I usually lean biasly towards my friends. So like if it's a Dan Henderson or Randy Couture fight, I'm going to pick them all the time. If I have to pick between competitors I don't know anything about, but one is a high-class wrestler, I'm taking the wrestler. I know both of these guys. The only thing that would happen is, okay, if one is from a foreign country and one's American, I'm picking the American every time. So it's wrestlers, Americans, and my friends. That's who I pick all the time. And I'm leaning away from Cejudo in this one simply because Henry has a hard time making weight, and that's what disturbs me. That's the only thing that makes the problem. But I think he made the right choice to be at 125. That's the best weight class for him to fight at. It's the best. He's the best position to make a championship run, the best chance to make millions of dollars that can actually take care of himself and his family.
So even if he makes the weight, you still think the cut's going to hurt him. And, if he makes the weight and the fight goes, you would still take Cariaso at these huge inflated odds.
At these huge inflated odds, yes. But honestly, if he makes the weight and he can find a way to recover quickly and get himself on track, Henry should win this fight easily. He's just a better talented athlete all the way around. But it's MMA, it's UFC, and Saturday night with 12,000 fans watching you live and millions of fans watching you across the world watching you. It is disturbing. And now let's not forget, Burt Watson's no longer in the back, so it's gonna be a melee in the back for a lot of these new fighters. So yes, Henry's being fast-tracked back in there, but with Burt Watson being gone from the back and knowing the rhythm, knowing the pattern, knowing what's going to happen, when he starts yelling, "It's rolling, baby," we know it's time for me to get rolling. Like, I know it's time to get moving. It's a different atmosphere back there. How much that will affect a lot of these fighters? I think Henry's one of those guys that's going to get affected by that kind of change, because wrestlers work in patterns. We work in rhythms, and that rhythm and that pattern starting backstage has not been changed. So it does change the value. Whether he's being so overinflated right now with this line. I don't understand the betting public why they're putting so much heat on Henry right now. You still have to bet Chris or pass, in my opinion.
Awesome thoughts, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again very soon.